What's going on, guys? Patrick here from PatrickWallingRealty.com, and today we are going to discuss homeowner associations. We're going to cover a lot of stuff, so make sure you stick around. We're going to go over the average homeowner associations and maintenance fees out here in Oahu, Hawaii, what homeowner associations are, what you can expect in regards to increase in those, and all the tidbits that you're going to want to know when purchasing a condo or anything that has a homeowner association. So stick around to get all the details. See you on the other side. All right, guys, so like I mentioned before, we're going to cover everything when it comes to homeowners association, not just the average price for homeowners associations or maintenance fees out here in Hawaii, but everything in between. Now, before we jump into it, if you guys could do me a huge favor, if you could smash that like button and click subscribe and the notification bell so you can get notified whenever I drop new videos just like this. So let's jump into it. Okay, homeowners associations and maintenance fees. What is a HOA or a homeowners association? Okay, so to understand what an association fee is, we need to understand what an association is. Now, if you purchase a condo or a place that falls under an association, basically like a group of townhomes or a condo, you're most likely going to have an association because they need to have a company or an association that will manage that building when it comes to the landscaping, any projects they have coming on, the staff to manage the place, whether it's security or the front desk. You are going to need somebody to manage that because it's essentially a business. Now, the good thing to know is that these associations are non-profit organizations. So they're not making any money off the monthly fee that you're paying, but it is something they have in place to make sure that the building is running and doesn't fall apart. Now, the amount that you are going to have to pay every single month to live in that condo or in that townhome is basically broken up into how much square footage you usually have. So let's say that they have, $1 million a year that they need to raise to manage the place. They would basically take that $1 million, cut it up based on the amount of square footage of your unit. So if you have a studio, your HOA or maintenance fee will be much lower than somebody who has a 3-bedroom or a 2-bedroom in that same building. Now, another big question I get is, what am I paying for in this monthly fee? What is this money going towards? Well, we know it's not for a for-profit business, it's nonprofit. So where are all these funds going? Well, they can be broken down into a couple different things. One thing is it goes towards your amenities. So if you have a pool or a gym or any of these things that need a little bit of maintenance, a portion of your HOA or your maintenance fees will go towards that. Another part is, of course, the managing, right? If you've got security, front desk, or anything of that nature, landscaping, it will go towards that. A lot of times in Hawaii, it doesn't usually cover electricity. It's usually going to cover water, sewer, and trash. That's about it. And a large portion of that monthly fee that you're paying that a lot of people are not aware of is going towards reserves. Now, what are reserves? Reserves are basically a small bank or reserve that is held on the side of the day-to-day, cost to run the place, just in case a big project comes up. For example, let's say you have to fix a leak in the roof of the entire condo, or the pool cracks, or the elevator breaks. These are expensive things that need to be fixed. And instead of going to every single owner and saying, hey, we need to fix the elevator, we need to collect money from you so that we can fix it, they have these built up reserves to be able to pull from. And once they do that for one of these projects, they usually have to fill it back up. And that's sometimes when we see that the increase of HOA starts to creep up every single year. And I'll discuss a little bit on average of what you can expect when it comes to increases in your HOA. Okay, now let's get into why you're most likely here, which is, what is the average cost of an HOA out here in Hawaii? And I'm probably gonna blow your mind with how expensive it can be, because everything here in Hawaii is expensive. But the average, specifically in like Waikiki or Honolulu area, where we have a lot of our condos and skyscrapers, are usually going to be in between $500 and $650 a month. Anything below that, you are pumped. Anything above $650, you're going to definitely want to make sure that you're getting a lot for it, or a lot of big projects have already been completed. And that's sometimes why we see the HOA start to increase a bit more, is because they just finished fixing the elevator or doing a repiping project, and now they're trying to refill up the reserves, and that's why they had to increase the HOAs. And sometimes they'll start to soften, but 99.9% of the time, HOAs never go down. Okay, so what can you expect year over year of your HOAs to increase? Now, on average, we usually see them increase about 2 to 3%, sometimes 4% every single year. So you can calculate that, bring up a calculator, put in $500, 3%, that's what, 5, 10, 15, $15 a year, which ain't too bad. And it's really just matching inflation. But if you start to see the HOAs, and you can see this in the condo docs, which I'll go over in a second, if you see them increasing like 8 to 10%, you're gonna wanna dig a bit deeper and go, why is this happening? Is it they're refilling the reserves? Are they expecting a big project to come up? Is this something that they're seeing happening for the next couple of years or just 1 year? It's something you're gonna wanna dive into when it comes to the condo docs. Now that moves me into the condo docs. Now, when you go into escrow for a purchase of a property, you will be provided with the condo docs. In the condo docs, you're gonna get a big stack of papers, usually sent to you in a form of a PDF, and there's a lot of information in there. I'm gonna go over what you can expect to see and what you wanna focus on. The first thing you're gonna see is the rules and regulations. Pretty standard stuff. Don't be loud after 10, but it does have certain rules and regulations when it comes to renovations. So you're definitely gonna wanna look into that. You're also gonna see, in the rules and regulations, what's included, right, in your HOA, the amenities, things you can do, things you can't do, pets. These are all important things you're gonna wanna know. Another thing you're gonna see in there is the meeting minutes, and those are most likely gonna be annual or quarterly meeting minutes, where basically the association comes together, they look over the finances, they discuss new and old business, and one thing you're gonna wanna look for is any discussions of any big projects or special assessments. And that's, let's say, oh, we've been seeing a lot of problems with the elevator, we might need to replace it. That's a big ticket item. Most likely is going to translate in an increase in HOAs or a special assessment. Now, the next thing you'll see is the reserve study. And what the reserve study is they hire a third-party company who basically crunches the numbers for the association to figure out, okay, what projects do we have coming up? Do we have enough reserves? Do we need to increase HOAs? And it spells it all out in the reserve study and kind of shows you a chart of the HOAs and what you can expect. If you see big hikes up, that is a red flag. You're gonna wanna dive deeper into that and then see what that translates into when it comes to your HOA fee, because that's really gonna dig into your pocket. And lastly, the thing you're definitely gonna wanna look into or look out for is a document called the RR105C. Now this covers anything that comes up. Let's say somebody falls down the stairs and they basically are gonna sue the association. Most of the time, the insurance company will cover these types of things, but it's something you're gonna wanna look out for because it will say that in the RR105C. If somebody sues the association and they win, then guess who has to pay? The association, which basically means anybody who owns in that building. Another thing you're gonna wanna look for in the RR105C, if you see it, is any big projects. They'll put in there, hey, we have a special assessment where we don't have enough money in our reserves. So we're gonna have to go to every single owner and ask them to pay X amount upfront or increase their HOAs to a certain amount. And these are happening because they don't have enough reserves. So it's important to look into these condo docs. It's a lot of documents, but of course you can ask your agent, do you see any red flags here? You can hire an attorney to go through the documents, or you can just go through it yourself. But that's kind of a rundown of what you're gonna wanna look for in those condo docs to alleviate any issues or challenges or surprises that would increase your HOA that you wouldn't be aware of unless you did the research. Anyways, guys, that pretty much wraps it up. If you guys got any value out of this, do me a huge favor, smash that like button as well as click the subscribe and notification bell so you can get notified whenever I drop videos just like this. Also, if you are interested to purchase a home or sell a home out here in Hawaii, I have a course which you can see down below that actually shows you not only how to leverage a VA loan if you're purchasing as a veteran, serviceman, or woman, but also it has a lot of good nuggets in there for any general civilian who's looking to purchase a home as well. So take a look at the link down below. You can also contact me on any of my social media platforms. Feel free to reach out to me or directly DM me. I'd love to connect with you. And please do me a favor and put your comments down below. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Anyways, guys, again, I'm Patrick with PatrickLongleyRealty.com, powered by eXp Realty. Hope you're having a beautiful day. I'll talk to you soon. Aloha.